takes the pressure away from I've got to buy the exact low, or I'm going to buy it within 2 ticks or sell it within 2 ticks. And often some systems just aren't geared for that sort of thing.
It's because you know a bit beforehand, it gives you a bit of confidence to do the entry anyway. On entry, I also had a bit of a running debate recently about indicators, and I've made my point on indicators very clear, but do you have any view, like have you used indicators before? Did you go through a search of which one was the best one? And I mean, obviously there was a time back long ago where indicators didn't exist, and but anyway, I don't want to put words in your mouth. So what's your view on indicators?
When I first started, indicators didn't exist, and then Wells Wilder came out with this RSI. He wrote a book called New Adventures in Technical Analysis, which is a blight on the technical world as far as I'm concerned. And the reason is everything you can do with technical indicators you can do by observation and by statistical analysis. Now the problem with technical indicators from my point of view is that there are actually 2 problems. One, they're one step removed from the bar chart. The bar chart's already one step removed from reality. It's a representation of the fear and greed, but it's the best we've got.
Yes,
then we take the best we've got and reduce it, create another area, if I can put it that way, and create RSIs and MACDs and stochastics and what have you. And the problem then becomes people stop understanding what the nature of markets are, that they're really a reflection of the fear and greed of the players in the market, and those turn out with certain patterns. They may not repeat exactly, but they will rhyme. I think, what's his name, Mark Twain said that. But people look at indicators. I mean, look at the RSI, divergence. Oh, overbought at 80, oversold at... I won't go on.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, indicators are probably a nice way to start for a novice because they're very clear if you do it in a clear manner. But you get out of kindergarten at some point in your trading career and you leave indicators behind. I think they're a necessary step to building an understanding of how markets work, especially if you're a mechanically orientated person. But at some point, as I say, you move out of kindergarten into college.
Don't you think there's a fascination with them though? Because I remember when I first saw charts, and then I saw all these lines. I was really fascinated by what are these things telling me, and if I find the right parameters or conditions here, I'm going to have some. I don't want to use the word mystical, but it was really something that I wasn't quite sure what they were doing, and if I learned what they were doing for me, no one else would have that edge. And I knew I had to have an edge, and I thought they would give it to me, and but it didn't work out that way. But
well, I think you've identified it. I think one of you actually hit the nail on the head. Is my complaints about indicators is the fact that people are seduced into thinking if I can just find the right tweak, the right parameter, I'm going to have a really simple way of making a lot of money in a very quick time. And it doesn't exist.
Right.
You have to understand the markets.
Okay. Now, before we started recording today, I just want to make this clear. I said I'd ask about indicators, but I didn't want to tell you what I thought about indicators. So can we just clear up that you don't know my stance on indicators? Well, it echoes, I guess, what you just said, and I also didn't know what you were going to say about indicators. So I actually wanted your honest opinion on those, and I guess I echo that. I went through the search myself. I just didn't find anything that worked. But I'm also quick to say, if someone finds something that works for them, then that's fantastic. That's the position you want to be in, where you've got a methodology you can trust and it works and it's repeatable and you can execute it. I just didn't find that myself. So
well, as I said earlier, I think that there is a place for them at the beginning. In fact, Mark Douglas, the guy that put me on to this approach, he said that irrespective of our personalities, we may be subjective, which have a set of rules, but we've got our intuition to play with. We've got fully mechanical, which we follow our rules no matter what. Yes. And the discretionary, who has no rules, subjective, who has no rules. So you've got a discretionary trader that has rules and intuition can play a part, or the subjective people, like the people on the floor or the people that are now scalping off the screens. They don't really have a set of rules, they just trade off feel, if you will. And that's fine, whatever suits them. But my point Mark made was everybody should start with a mechanical system just to learn discipline.
Oh, really? Okay.
And in that environment, I think indicators may play a part.
Okay. Good segue there with discipline, because that was going to be my next question. I always say it's probably the most important attribute successful traders have personality-wise is the ability to do what they have to do whether they want to or not. I've had a couple of clients come to me in the past and they said, Stuart, I know everything I have to do. I have a plan. It follows the rules. I just can't follow the plan. I know discipline's important, but I just can't do it. I just can't follow the plan. Do you have any, I mean, if you had people say that to you, do you have any advice to people who just discipline's an issue?
It depends on whether, as you know, I run a mentor class.
Yes.
Some students I can assist and some I can't. It depends on the nature of the problem. Some people have a lack of discipline through sheer habit. It's a habit of not following through, and that we can create new habits. You substitute, you identify the belief system behind their lack of what payoff there is for not following whatever it is they want, for not following through.
Okay.
And NLP teaches you a number of techniques that allow you to substitute positive beliefs for that negative belief, and you slowly create new habits. That's doable. However, some people have a really deep problem, and I think the best way of doing that is to tell a story. I had a student called, I won't mention names, let's call him Stuart.
Oh, okay,
and,
thanks.
No matter what I did, we had this major problem that Stuart could not trade leveraged instruments. Stock market, he was fantastic. Followed the rules.
This is sounding very much like me. Just make this clear that this isn't me.
Right? No, this is not you.
Call him John or something.
We'll call him Mike.
Okay, Mike, thank you.
This is a true story, so this is his real name. Okay, Mike, if you're out there, forgive me. And Mike could trade stocks perfectly. He wanted to trade futures, and I tried to help him out. He did the mentor class, and honestly, I was at wit's end. Nothing I did worked. It just would. I couldn't understand why he would follow discipline trading stocks, shift him into a leverage instrument, and he became the biggest cowboy in the world.